Hello, 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 everyone. This is Asin Kirilov, and today I am joined with my amazing co-host JT, Jedediah Thomas, and we are going to be discussing a very, very interesting topic today. But before we do, JT, say hello.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
What's up, everybody?
You wouldn't believe this guy had me trying to do accents before we started recording this.
Please excuse us. We're kind of trying to recover from the whole laughter situation. But anyway, on today's agenda, let's call it that, we are going to be discussing how to create, market, and manage a product, regardless of what the product is. So this is a very interesting topic because before we delve into it, we want to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what we're actually going to discuss. Even though it's pretty simple and self-explanatory, it could be extremely complicated as well. And that's exactly what we want you guys to try and avoid. If you start overcomplicating any one of these three steps, you will screw the entire process up. So we're going to make it super simple, super precise, very straight to the point. And hopefully you will have a few takeaways from all this. So we're going to start with the creation side of the process. So I'm going to let JT take over so that he can explain to you guys exactly how it can be done so that it's not frustrating, it's not complicated, and it's very straight cut for you guys.
Awesome. So in this phase, the most important thing is to not overthink it, because you can spend years, quote unquote, perfecting your product, and then you put it out to market and then nobody wants it, So there has to be a level of feedback as you're creating a product, or even before you're creating a product. You need to see what your target market is interested in, what could they benefit from, and then use that feedback to start to craft and sculpt a product that everyone will love. So you don't want to just lock yourself in, your room for weeks and, hammer out something and then have no real world feedback.
No innuendo intended. No innuendo intended at all.
There's never innuendo in anything I say, I promise.
But JT has a fantastic point here, because if you do start overcomplicating the product itself, it will literally ruin you. It will suck up a huge amount of time. You want something that will be appealing to people, something which is in high demand, something that will, as always, solve problems, especially if you're working in the marketing sector on any level. Okay, you want something that's simple, that people will gravitate to, that will go, oh my God, this is like something that I really need in my life. And then once you've got everything fine-tuned in regards to the creation process, you can move on to the marketing side. Unless there was anything else that JT would like to add to that.
Yeah, there's quite a bit we can add to that.
Go for it. Cracking the knuckles.
All right, so
and everything.
Gotta be ready.
Absolutely.
So, also along the lines of not overcomplicating it, not overthinking it, what I'm doing, and this is a great strategy for, you could do whatever platform you're on, you can put out little snippets of different piece of content over time. I'll do value posts, I'll do engagement posts, I'll do, belief shifting posts and different stuff on Facebook and my Facebook group. And those things that get really good engagement, I know is a, very solid copy, resonates with people. It's something people want to hear more of. And I've kind of done everything with the end in mind. Eventually I want to write books and, really expand different things that I do. So I'm creating the posts in the idea that eventually there'll be chapters in a book or pages in a book, and it's all just going to come together. So you're not, holding off for years and then doing 6 years of work all at once. And then now you have a product. You're doing the work over time. And then all you have to do is just put it together, collate it, edit it, and then you're good to go with a solid product.
Exactly. This is why I believe have mentioned in the past that anything that you do always stays on the internet, and this is exactly why it's going to help you, because you can be years from now, 5, 6, 7 years from now, which is the perfect point to do this, you will have so much content, so much material that you could use to be able to, just like JT said, fine tune it into something that you need it to be. It could be a book, it could be a video series, it could be anything, literally anything, as long as you can correlate your content together into one product. Okay, so like we're doing right now, think about it for a second, okay, and you'll see the logic behind this. Me and JT are talking to you guys. We are discussing a very straightforward topic in regards to creating something that can generate you profit over time. You're going to be able to learn how to create it, you're going to be able to learn how to market it, and you're going to be able to learn how to manage it. These three things are under one particular topic, but we can use this video down the line to be able to teach you guys over and over, even if you have to come back to it and rewatch it. It will teach you. So you can use products like this. You can use content that you've created like this, like a video or a podcast, whatever it is, wherever you're listening to it. You can use it to be able to make something completely new. That's why the best marketers in the world can take their content, change it slightly, and create completely new content. Okay? They're constantly reusing content. Only the best marketers in the world can do this, but a lot of people are starting to learn how to do this. So they're kind of gaining traction with it as well. Now, in respect of any sort of podcasts that you're doing, obviously they will limit the type of thing that you can do with them. So you're just going to have a huge abundance of content if you're concentrating mainly on podcasts. This is why we're going to expand this particular topic into the multi-platform section as well, so that we can teach you guys how to do exactly that. Okay, don't limit yourself to one particular strain that you can use, one particular platform, one particular type of product. You can use a video like this. You can take the audio out of the video and you can use this as a podcast episode, for example, exactly the same way that we're doing. And to all of the people listening, by the way, this is a video, so you guys can check it out on Facebook, YouTube, whatever you want to, because it is going to go out on multiple platforms so that a huge amount of people can see it and they can learn from it. That's exactly what we're doing. You need to work smart. You don't need to work hard anymore. Okay, the smarter you work, the better you'll be, and you will be able to propel yourself much more forward in time than grinding and working through all the problems that you're currently dealing with. So try to think about how you're using your content to be able to help you in the future, because what we're doing today is going to impact what we're trying to create in the future. That's the type of thinking you need to be able to use on a daily basis to be successful in this field.
And I definitely think I look better on the podcast, by the way.
Okay, listen here. Yes, absolutely. But a lot of people are actually listening to this and going, what the hell are they talking about? That's why I use the reference to the video. The correlation between the two type of streams is linked continuously. So whenever we're doing a video, we're putting out an episode at the same time. Okay, so we're using the audio to be able to generate a podcast episode from it. And this is what we're trying to teach you on a daily basis. This is the marketing side. So you've got a product, you're creating a product, you're going to move on to the marketing side of it. And then finally, we'll obviously discuss the management side of it. But anyway, I'm kind of jumping over this. JT had a lot more things to tell you about the creation side of things first.
Yeah, the last point I wanted to make on it is just don't beat yourself up. You're usually your own worst critic. You could put together something that you think is crap and then you put it out into the market and it's gold. Like it sells like hotcakes. Everybody wants it. And you were like, well, nobody's going to want this, but everyone's buying it. So don't prejudge your own product, just see what the market wants, see how the market responds and cater to the market, because ultimately the whole point of creating a product is to sell the product. And, you can't sell a product to someone who doesn't want it. So work with the people who want what you have, and then you'll sell more than you could ever imagine.
Absolutely. It's the best way to do it, to be quite honest, because a lot of people, will create something and they will stick with it, even if it fails, and they'll still keep pushing it. You know what? It's all a trial and error basis. If you create something and it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. create something else. You have the time. You're not a tree. Okay, you can move your concepts, you can move your ideas, you can create something completely different. At the end of the day, if it's something that doesn't work, it's not something worth pushing further. Okay, so realize that at a point that you think that you are reaching before you fail entirely or end up smacking your face into the ground. But focus on things that are going to start working for you. This is exactly how advertising works, okay? That's why there's so many tests that are run on advertising on a daily basis. If a particular advert doesn't work for you, there's a reason for that. If it's not generating leads and it's not generating sales, there must be a reason for it. That's why people are constantly testing adverts. You know, you could run a series of adverts one day that may not even generate one lead, and then you can change it slightly, and the next day they might generate 100 leads. Okay, so it's all trial and error basis. You need to be comfortable that you're not always going to be a winner. You're going to fail a lot more than you will probably win. So the more comfortable you are with that, the better you will be off.
Sounds good. Sounds like we need to roll into the marketing.
I think so too. So what I think you guys will benefit a lot from is if you're at a stage, and when you get to the stage that you have a product which you are happy with and you believe may be profitable or helpful to a lot of people, that may solve a lot of problems, because that's exactly what you want to focus on. Well, once you have that completely built product which is ready to market, you want to start focusing on the marketing side, which will include the advertising and generating leads, generating people and clientele that will be interested in that particular type of product. Now, you could do this several ways. You could do it either via advertising, like using Facebook ads, Google ads, etc. All of these type of advertising programs out there that will help you do exactly that. Or you can focus on the organic side of things. So you could be speaking to people, you could be messaging people. There's multiple type of platforms you can do that on. Obviously, Facebook is the main one that we use, which is also probably where you're seeing this video. It may even be on YouTube or somewhere else. It doesn't matter. The fact is, you could use a variety of resources to be able to use the advertising side of this, the marketing side. You could potentially do videos about the product. You could do podcast episodes about the product. As whatever it is and however you're doing it, you need to focus on doing it at a high standard. So, because if you start doing it at a subpar level, there's just no point in doing it. You need people to be able to hear the passion in your voice. If you're creating a video trying to market the product, use the branding side of things to help you do exactly that. Okay, however it is, if it's bobbleheads, whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, you need to focus on the marketing side on a level that will correlate with people's interests in regards to that particular type of product. Do you agree, JT?
Yeah, that's absolutely it. And in terms of marketing, you don't have to think that it's this big, scary thing. It's really, at the end of the day, all marketing is just helping people see your product. It's putting it out in the world, letting people see it, letting people decide if they want your product or not. So ideally, it's got to catch people's eyes, like he was talking about, the enthusiasm in your voice if you're using an audio medium, but you're not always using an audio medium. Maybe it's a billboard, maybe it's something, a sign or a post. You have to communicate a story and value with whatever medium you're using. So with a billboard, you have 3 words to catch someone's attention,
Absolutely.
You could say,
absolutely,
a car looks real good. Who knows if that's going to sell? I don't know. But that's marketing. That's short form copy right there. And then you have, say, like a long form copy on Facebook. What you want to do is catch people's attention, say with a hook, like a fancy title, or not fancy necessarily, but something that grabs people's attention. And then in your post, you want to tell a story. So for instance, when I started Facebook marketing, all I was doing was really long value posts every day. I was actually, marketing Forex training. And basically I put up so much value for 6 months straight. I was doing post after post after post after post. And at the end of that 6 months, I had not sold a single, copy of my training, which was really bumming me out. So it was like, everyone felt like they're against me. And there was one day I was just like, you know what? I quit. I'm done with this market thing. I'm just going to post memes and results. And the results were so good, then like 4 people bought the next week. And I was like, oh my gosh, why did they buy when I quit and not after all this value that I put out? So that really opened my eyes to the importance of telling a story in your content. You want to grab people in and bring them from beginning to resolution, and it's going to sell things a lot better.
Absolutely. And that's it. That's what I was talking about, the correlation between the two things. And yes, you do need to change your tactics. Okay. What works for one person may not necessarily work for another. Okay. You have to understand, even if you were to do the dirty, and I mean this in a very, very polite way, okay, when I say this.
We're so polite on this podcast.
Absolutely. Look, you don't even hear any swearing, and we do it all the time. So the idea is, even if you were to say, take one particular person that is getting incredible results, copy their entire friends list on Facebook, get every single person added to yours, and do exactly the same thing that they're doing, I absolutely assure you it will not work for you. Okay. The main reason behind that is every single person tells a completely different story, mainly because that particular person is different. It is a unique storyteller. His level of storytelling, copywriting, whatever you want to label it, will work completely different to the type of people that surround him and his friends list than it will to you. Okay. And we're going to discuss all of this in next week's topic, which is going to be the focus of content marketing, which you guys should definitely check out, by the way. But the idea is that when you're marketing something, regardless of what it is, it could be, it could be a brand of t-shirts, for example. You could be on Shopify trying to create something like that, which you can do, by the way. The idea of the marketing side of it is to be able to tell some sort of a story that will reach a lot of people on the emotional side of things. Because if they feel that they have that connection with your product, I assure you it will sell a lot more than if they don't. Am I wrong?
No, that's absolutely right. Especially when you're saying, you have to use your own voice. You have to be yourself. If you're trying to imitate somebody else, you're going to burn out. You're going to not sell anything. It's just not going to work for you, because, there's 2 things that are important about that. One, they're going to see through the charade. They're going to see, okay, this person is being false. It's not really who they are. Why is there this difference? And, they're not going to trust you, because that's really what sales is building trust with people. And then, you're going to burn out because you're trying to put all this energy and effort into being something you're not. Exactly. It just doesn't work. The only way you're going to connect your passion to what you're doing is being yourself, letting your own personality shine.
That's it. Because JT is unique in a particular way. I'm unique.
I'm more unique than you.
The fact is, right, every single person is individually different. Okay. And I cannot stress that enough, because there's a lot of people out there that think that the whole fake it till you make it will work for you. Okay. I assure you, a lot of people fail. Okay. Doing exactly that. Okay. People rent planes to go and take some pictures with them to post on Instagram and just create some sort of an idealistic lifestyle copy for themselves so that they can get more sales for whatever they're trying to pitch. And I assure you that only works for a little period of time. Even if it does work, it doesn't last. The fact is, if you are trying to market something, focus on what's important to you, because I assure you a lot more people out there will literally feel the same way that you are when you are putting the content out to people, if you're being honest about it. Okay, if you're not being honest about it, if you're trying to fake it till you make it, like I said, that type of link will just break. Okay, that's why every single person that is successful has a very unique story. Okay, Bill Gates, as opposed to Steve Jobs, have completely different stories, even though they were operating on the same type of level. That's a whole nother story to go into, but regardless of which, they were putting out a product on the market that helped millions of people, right? And that's exactly what you guys want to try and do, or you should be focusing on doing. You want to have a product that will help a lot of people solve a lot of problems, even if it is to actually focus on creating their lives easier, making their lives easier. My God, I need to do a lot of editing on this. But the fact is, when you're creating something, you want to make sure that you're creating something that will not only solve a problem, but that you can market it easily to a lot of people. And then we can, unless JT has something to add, move on to the management side of things.
Yeah, just one quick thing before we move on. You touched on a very, very salient point, which is that people are always asking, how do I make money online? How do I make money in business? How do I do this? And they don't think, well, it's exactly how you do it in a job. You provide value for somebody else. The more people you help, and the more you help them, the more money you make. Let's say you have a dollar product, doesn't matter. You help 6 billion people, you're going to have $6 billion. Exactly. Help more people, help them more, and you can charge more.
Exactly. There is also another side to look at this whole situation, and that is, even though it's still within the marketing section, giving the value, like JT says, you could do that for free and it will still resonate with a lot of people. And building that rapport with people will also generate you sales, because if you do that enough, providing the value side of things, it will help you sell. It will help you become more rapport worthy with people. Like JT actually did something recently, which was a messenger sale live, exclusive to the Online Wealth Machine, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that yet, feel free to check it out on Facebook and sign up to the group. It is packed full of content. You definitely need to do that. And he was speaking about rapport and how important rapport is with people. Okay, how to build it correctly, because if you're ingenuine about what you're doing, you're not going to be able to build good rapport with people, and that link will break. So when you guys are focusing on creating something which is helping people in the process of creation, which is the first part of this video and audio, you want to focus on creating something which will not just help people, but would be capable of actually providing value so that it resonates to a bigger crowd. Yes, it may not solve everybody's problem, but if it solves a lot of people's problem, those people will be your global clientele. That's what you got to focus on. That's what's important. Because like JT said, even if it costs $1, if it's 6 billion people that it will help, that is a $6 billion revenue. So that's the type of things you got to focus on. If it helps someone do something or make something easier for a lot of people, then it will definitely be a worthy product.
Awesome. Let's talk about managing products across social media platforms.
Yes, it is a mouthful, but the fact is that it can be very easily done. And we've already actually touched this topic already, if you haven't noticed already. I think I said it 5 times in the past 2 seconds. Anyway, if you have a product that you can manage easily, when you're marketing the product, you can market it simultaneously across different types of platforms, such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, Twitter, everywhere. Okay? Creating the type of marketing materials that you can use to cross-platform market the product itself will also help you manage it. There's certain programs out there, software programs, even websites that can allow you to connect every single one of your accounts together so that you can manage the information that is coming across from those type of platforms and the type of content that you're putting out. Okay, so once you've checked the creation side of things, you've checked the marketing side of things, and you've got to stage 3, which is the management side of the product. You want to be able to focus on, like we mentioned in the very beginning, working smart, not working hard. Okay, so you want to be able to just fine-tune specific processes in that particular product, whether it's video based, whether it's audio based, no matter how it's based, no matter what the product is, so that it makes your life easier whilst not creating more of a workload for you. So you want to be able to have a product that is, at the same time as it is profitable, you want to make sure it's easily managed. And if you can do that, there is actually ways to do that other than what I just mentioned. JT will mention a few for you guys now.
Yeah, so when I started on online marketing, I was doing affiliate marketing, which is basically marketing and selling other people's product. And I was doing it exclusively on Facebook, exclusively, or through organic outreach and posting and things like that. And I was following a training, which I still believe is the best Facebook organic training on the planet. It's amazing, but it kind of has this bias to it that you should only do Facebook organic until you get good at it, until you get expert at it, and only then can you branch out into other platforms. And I would say that's one point I disagree with, because all you have to understand is that you can't take on more than you can manage. If you're really tech savvy, you could manage maybe 3 or 4 platforms. As long as you have enough time, you can, handle the comments from different people and actually manage them well. And then you'd be learning 3 or 4 platforms at the same time, so then you get good at them all at once. And, your business just explodes, as opposed to just focusing on one platform. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good to get good at one platform, have your kind of bread and butter, your mainstay, but you don't want to be scared of branching out. Okay, because there's kind of this taboo about doing paid advertisements on Facebook, and the idea is that all the money that you put into it is a waste. And a lot of people see that, they lose money on it, but you don't have to go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to put thousands of dollars into it and I'm going to get this good overnight. You're learning that just like everything else. You're learning copy, you're learning how to catch people's attention, you're learning how to tell stories. And even if you're only putting $5 a week into Facebook advertisements, if your copy is on point, if your story is on point, if your offer is on point, and your targeting is on point, you will be able to sell and profit from that. So don't be scared of it, but just be aware that it's a learning curve like everything else, and you just have to give it the appropriate amount of attention that it needs.
Absolutely. And this is going back to what we were talking about, testing processes, testing advertising and stuff like that. Nothing will always work the first time. Okay, if it does, fantastic. We'll be happy for you guys if it does the first time around. But there are people out there that are constantly testing different types of advertising materials and seeing what works best for them. Then once they know that this particular type of advertising works for them, they can actually upgrade that particular process and then use that process for a lengthier period of time, which is, again, easy to manage if you can fine-tune the process. So whilst you're going through the creation stage, whilst you're going through the marketing stage, and you're also going through the management stage, which is the very last part, you want to focus on having a product which is going to be easy to manage. Okay, don't overcomplicate things. And we cannot stress this enough, because if you do that, if you overcomplicate the process, when you get to stage 3, you will literally be going, WTF is going on? And you will have so much to do that you will not know how to manage your own time to be able to cope with all of the things that you have to upkeep with, especially if it's a product that's as simple as a video session or a video tutorial. Okay, you want to have something that's simple enough to follow, because not everyone is also going to be at your level. Not everyone is going to understand the type of things that you're talking about. So just make it simple. The simpler it is, the more it will speak to people. The more people will understand it, the more people will go, oh my God, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, so make it simple, make it easy to use, and for goodness sake, please do not overcomplicate it. Save yourself the trouble and the headaches. When you get to stage 3, you want to be able to be in a situation where you can just pull a string here, pull a string there, and everything will start coming together. And you can just use the time that you have to, say, perhaps create another product that can help people. Do you agree, JT?
Right. And yeah, the testing that you're talking about is of critical importance to marketing. In marketing, they call it split testing. The idea is that you never know what's going to be better or worse until you try everything out side by side. I mean, even my parents did that. They had my brother, didn't work out, so they were trying to do better, so they had me. They got it right this time. So, the whole idea is, you just have to test everything. Don't look at it like, oh, I'm going to do it wrong, I'm going to fail. Treat it as a game. You're just playing a game, seeing what route gets you, the best return, and then you kind of go down that route, and then you can test that. Do a split test off of that, and you just keep split testing until your copy gets so good that people look at it and their jaws drop, their wallets open, and money starts coming at you. Like, that's the point where you want to get to. Like,
exactly.
You're not going to get there overnight, but the only way you're going to get there is by putting out different things and testing them and seeing what works best. Very much like professional comedians. They don't just go onto their Netflix comedy routine and they're guessing. They've split tested their jokes in clubs and clubs and clubs and clubs for years, and they only put out the best of the best, and that's why they're so funny.
Exactly. And just in case you guys still don't get it, split testing is very much like, if you're a gamer, you will understand this. You know how when they drop beta versions of games, okay, it's usually something which is in a process, okay? It's already been created. It may not be perfect, but it is in a testing phase, okay? That's why they call it beta testing. Another way to look at it is, there's a reason why people create software products with trials, okay? It's to give you the opportunity to actually try something, and at the same time, see if you like it, you buy it, right? Super simple. Okay, that's why people do what they do. That's why every amazing brand out there that has an incredible product, and I don't want to mention any because of copyright reasons, will have a product that they have tested in one particular stage. Okay, that's why a lot of people on Amazon send products out for free to test it. That's why Kickstarter is such an amazing program to use. If you think about it, a lot of people put products on there. They get just enough revenue to be able to start generating those particular type of products. They send them out to people. People test them. They send them back in, give them a review on what can actually be better. Okay, hence split testing. Okay, you're splitting the idea. Okay, you want to use idea B, idea C, etc. Whatever works. The general point here is, when you get to stage 3, you want to have it as easy as possible, because you've already done the work. You've created the product. Okay, you've done everything that you could possibly do. You've moved on to stage 2, which is marketing the product. Okay, so you've concentrated on creating the social media outreach, creating the posts, creating the videos for it, etc., etc., etc. And then you've reached stage 3, which is managing that particular product. Okay, at that point, when people are contacting you, they've already seen the videos, they've already seen the products or heard the podcasts, whatever the circumstances, and they have experienced what your product provides. And if your product provides value, fantastic. Those people are contacting you because they have seen the value in your product. So try and be creative about how you are proceeding throughout those 3 processes. Now, I think JT has a few more things to add in regards to the process. in regards to these particular 3 steps that are super important to anybody trying to create something new before we actually move on to the last part.
Right. So I would just like to reiterate the point I made earlier about beginning with the end in mind. We were talking about splitting off video and audio for a podcast and then a video and all these things. You want to see what your end products are going to look like, and then see what is the best way to do the least amount of work to get all of those in place. You're not trying to overwork yourself. So for us, we're recording a video and then we're ripping the audio off for the podcast. If we were to just record audio, we wouldn't have a video. Then we would have to re-record, then we'd have to do everything over again, do everything double. So you have to think, what is the simplest way I can do this to create the most value, the most product, the most things that I can sell and help people with the least amount of work on my end. And that is how you manage multiple platforms, by being smart.
Dun, 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 dun. There you go. I couldn't have said it better myself, really, to be quite honest, because that's exactly the message that we're trying to portray here. Work smart, don't work hard. Well, you still have to work hard, but work a little smarter than you do harder, okay? Then it will help you, okay? It will help you in the long run, because every single thing that you're doing, whether it's making videos, whether it's making podcast episodes, whether it's just writing copy, whatever it is, work on a level that you're learning from. The more you do, the better you get. And the better you get, the better your quality gets. The more people will start resonating with your content, and the more clients you're going to start getting, because you're going to start getting more inquiries about what you're doing. I'm not talking about becoming the new Mysterio or anything like that, but put a little bit of interest and a little bit of mystery into the type of content that you're creating, so that it engages people and gets them to contact you. Okay? Don't just go blah, 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 and give them everything. Okay? Give them something for them to look forward to, okay, to tickle their interests a little bit. And then I do apologize about that particular side of things, but the idea is you need to give them something that engages their interest. Once you've done that and you've got them in your messenger box and they're talking to you about the product, you've already peaked, okay? So from there on, the sales process comes into it all. So don't forget to do a little bit of that at the same time. Now, JT has a lot to say about sales and how it can help you, especially if you've got the client in your messenger box. So JT, if you want to throw a few things in here, this is the best time to do it.
Man, there is too much to say about sales. We need to make at least one episode, maybe like 3 or 4 about sales. It is such a broad topic. So many people do it wrong. There's a lot of gurus teaching the wrong way. And as a salesperson, you come off as a total jerk. Nobody buys from you. You think you're doing good because you're following the method, and it just doesn't work. So you need to learn the correct way. Like I said, not enough time in this segment to do that, but definitely we need to cover that one day, because I got a lot to say.
I think maybe not the next episode, but the episode after that, we might focus on that. So stay tuned for that one, guys. And as always, I think it's always a great idea to drop this info in, because if you are a person that creates copy and a person that creates videos and content like this, whether it's videos, audio, or in text, it doesn't really matter, okay? Focus on a point where you're taking listeners to. Focus on a point where people that are watching and reading your content are heading to. Okay, so that's why we always include this at the very end of our episode, and we always mention, go and sign up to our Facebook groups, go and sign up to Online Wealth Machine, check out GENSPI, check out Moneymakers, all of our partners, especially the Plug Hub. These are all things that we mentioned for a reason, because information that we share with you guys on here that helps you and generates potential value to the person listening or watching this video, or however this is coming across to you, needs to have some sort of directionality. If you can create that in your content, please do that every single time. We've already introduced ourselves. You know who we are. The fact is we have taken this through 3 steps exactly the same way that we did this particular episode, okay? So we've done the intro, we've introduced ourselves, we've shown you guys who we are. Number 2 is we're providing you with the content necessary to be able to market this type of product. So we're creating something, we're marketing something, and then we're going to manage it by spreading it across multiple platforms, which is one thing you guys need to understand. Using tools to market your products across multiple platforms simultaneously is super easy to do, because there are websites out there that can do it for you. All you need to do is apply that particular type of content that you've created through those websites, and they will send them automatically to every single platform that you have associated with your account. So guys, feel free to check those out there. I think Scoop was one of them. I've used it quite a few years ago. I'm not even sure if it still exists, but there is a lot of copycat platforms out there that you guys can use that can make your life simpler and easy to manage. Step number 3 of what we've been talking about. So focus on those 3 steps. If you guys are going through step 1, which is the creation side of things, and you guys are struggling, feel free to contact either Jedediah Thomas or Asen Kirilov, and we will assist you however we can with whatever we can. If you're going through stage 2 and you've already completed stage 1, fantastic. You're moving on quicker than a lot of other people that we've seen. So again, feel free to contact us, shoot us over some questions. We'll be happy to help. If you're going through stage 3, which is the management side of things, amazing. You've already completed 2 steps, which means that you are nearly at the finish line and moving on to something better. Okay, so it doesn't matter what step you're in, what stage you're at, contact us. We can always help you guys out to move forward to the following steps. Not to mention, we can help you guys create social media campaigns that will rock your socks off. Okay, so get in touch if you guys have any questions. If we can help with anything, feel free to touch base with us. We're always around, and if we're not, it's probably because we're very busy doing other things, but still feel free to get in touch. JT, do you have anything to add amongst everything that we've already discussed?
No, I think we covered everything. We covered a lot of ground. We gave some value. I think people will be able to take this and really do something with it. So if you're watching on video, I don't know which side, like and subscribe. I'll try both sides, up, down, all around, just in case. And be sure to join us on our next episode entitled The Focus of Content Marketing, all about the nitty-gritty details of what you need to create good content.
Absolutely. You guys will love it. Trust me, it's definitely one to look forward to. So in the meantime, stay safe, and we shall speak to you guys soon.